So, I like Pokemon Horizons. It's a nice, fresh breath of air, with a brand new cast of characters with a very interesting and intriguing plot, revolving around Liko, Roy, the Rising Voltaclers, the Explorers, Terapagos, and the Hero Pokemon. It's been a pretty fun ride so far since it started airing in April of 2023. And now, while I like the series, it's definitely not perfect. Not every episode is a 10 out of 10, nor is every character or Pokemon well written. But today, I want to talk about what I consider to be Pokemon Horizons' biggest issue at the moment. And that being the second Pokemon of our main characters, Liko, Roy. And I guess you can consider Dot more of a main character now since she's taken more of that spotlight since the end of Arc 2 going into Arc 3 or the Terastallization debut course. So yeah, for the purpose of the video, we'll be considering Dot to be part of the main trio now, moving from a duo to a trio. So yeah, that's the biggest issue currently facing Horizons in my opinion. Now, hold up. Wait a minute. Before we get started, how's it going everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here. And if you can't guess already, I talk about Pokemon Horizons on the channel through discussion videos like this, or about upcoming episodes and titles and summaries, or just upcoming arcs or anything in general revolving around the series. I also do live streams, live discussions more so, about each episode. Those usually air over the weekend. And I also stream video games too, so if this is something that you're interested in, you should definitely subscribe to the channel, like the video, watch it to the end, and hit that notification bell. All these factors help, and I would definitely appreciate it. Now, let's get back to the video. So as you know, the main trio of kids in Pokemon Horizons each has one of the starter Pokemon from the Scarlet and Violet video games. Liko with Squirtito, now evolved into Florigato. Roy with Fuecoco, who's going to be evolving into Crocodile very soon. Dot with Quaxly, now Quaxwell. And since these characters have obtained their first Pokemon, each of the three has caught a second Pokemon. Liko caught Hatenna, which is now Hattrem. Roy caught Wattrel, which is now Kilowattrel. And Dot caught Tinkatink, which is actually going to be evolving into Tinkatuff in the next arc, which is pretty interesting. So, to start things off, let's talk about Wattrel first. So yeah, I figured we'd start with Wattrel, now Kilowattrel, since this is actually the first Pokemon out of the three that was caught. Roy caught Wattrel all the way back in episode 14, and if you've seen any of my Pokemon Horizons live discussions, you'll know that I like this burb a lot. I just want him to get a lot of love in the series. And seeing as it was the first of the secondary Pokemon, you know, it's the one that I definitely am the harshest towards since, you know, we're almost 70 episodes into the series, and, you know, I do have some pretty high expectations for a Pokemon that was caught so early into the series. Yeah. But to start off things here, when it was first introduced, it was actually pretty nice when it was captured, because Roy was actually helping it out since he noticed that the bird couldn't fly very well when it was with its flock and it got left behind. So Roy worked with it to overcome its fear of heights and also fly better. And through this, it actually started to get attached to Roy. So it ends up going with Roy, so Roy gets his second Pokemon in Wattrel, which was nice. It was a very nice capture episode. A nice capture overall, and I was actually overall happy with it. Now, with such a promising start for a character, you'd think that actually things would be good from here. And it'd be treated well, and no, unfortunately. At first, things were not too bad. We did get a training episode with it and Fuecoco where they weren't getting along very well, but by the end of the episode, they actually learned to work together really well, so it made me excited for the two Pokemon teaming up in double battles in the future. Like, this actually could have led to some pretty interesting battles between the two, with them coming up with interesting strategies and certain battles against maybe some of the Explorers. So it made me kind of look forward to a potential Fuecoco and Wattrel team up in the future. Yeah, then we go into Arc 2, which is the Shiny and Terapagos arc. And, yeah, it just kind of just felt like it just disappeared for the majority of this arc. It didn't do anything significantly. Like, this would have been a good time to develop the burb. And we didn't get anything with it, which is very confusing. It had like one moment towards the very end of the arc where it actually helped prevent Rayquaza from getting caught by the explorers. But yeah, besides that, there was just nothing during Arc 2. And it's not until episode 52 that we get our next Wattrel episode, which is very confusing. I feel like we should have done something with it in Arc 2, but we don't get it until episode 52, which is very concerning. But the episode is essentially a follow-up to episode 14, and it's a very nice episode, don't get me wrong. I actually like this episode quite a bit, and the evolution was really nice. The problem is, the evolution just comes off very rushed, just because there wasn't really like sufficient development before this evolution. Like, for example, we have Fuecoco over here, Roy's other Pokemon, by the way, that's, you know, getting a lot of screen time, getting a lot of battles in, and yeah, it's basically went from having no moves at the beginning of the series to having an arsenal of moves, so when it finally evolves, that evolution is going to be well deserved. But with Kilowattrel here, we just didn't get enough screen time with it. It didn't really battle a whole lot. It didn't get like a lot of focus before this, so unfortunately, this evolution just comes off very rushed, which is disappointing. This should have been a really nice moment, but if there was more focus for the Pokemon beforehand, this episode would have been a lot more satisfying. But hey, now that Wattrel's evolved, it's going to be doing some damage in some upcoming battles, right? The second phase of the Terastallization course, the gym battles are 2v2 matches, so that means Roy has to use Fuecoco and Kilowattrel in this upcoming battle, so it's going to be doing some damage, right? It's going to be showing its newfound power now that it's fully evolved. Maybe it'll have a new move or something like that that will show up in the battle. It's going to be doing some damage, right? Right? Yeah, it battles for like not even a minute in the battle, lands one attack, and then immediately goes down. And then Fuecoco has to take down Houndstone. And then ultimately Roy loses the match. And then when he rematches Rhyme, it's a 1v1 with Fuecoco participating only. So, a good moment for Fuecoco. Like, the second match was better than the first one. And it was a really great moment for Roy and Fuecoco, but Kilowattrel just got nothing out of this. It just took a huge L. And it didn't get any redemption here. So yeah. Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm not too happy about this. If there's one thing that I did not like about Roy vs. Rhyme, it was this. Like, the second match was really nice. Like, it's really cool, but I have to deduct a point or two just because Kilowattrel just got disrespected so hard, and this didn't need to happen. Like, why even evolve it if it's gonna go down like this, dude? Like, this is just annoying. Like, I get that Fuecoco is, you know, getting some good development here, but, you got another Pokemon here, Roy, that really needs some shine, too, so, yeah, hopefully Kilowattrel does something soon, because, yeah, this, really upset me, and, yeah, just disappoints me. Just disappoints me a lot, because I had a lot of hope for Kilowattrel, but, unless something changes here very soon, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just disappointed with Kilowattrel at this point. Now, next up we have Hatenna / Hattrem, which was originally caught in episode 21. Now, out of the three, it's had the most screen time. It's definitely had the most presence, and this is mainly due to the fact that it would hang out in Liko's hood. So, it was at least present in a lot of the episodes, whereas Wattrel basically kind of just disappeared. So that's one thing it definitely has over Wattrel. It just had a presence in the series. But it was also helpful in sensing out people's emotions and Pokemon's emotions as well. It also had a major focus in episode 38, where it ends up learning Heal Pulse. It actually ends up saving the day because of that. But outside of that, it was not a battler. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because Togepi really didn't battle back in the original Pokemon series, besides using Metronome and causing some chaos here and there. But yeah, it wasn't a battler, but I was hoping that maybe someday it would actually get some action and maybe become a battler when it eventually evolves. And I finally got that wish when it finally evolved in episode 53. And when it evolved, it beat the crap out of 3 Annihilapes with Brutal Swing, which was very impressive. It went from a Pokemon that just didn't battle to a Pokemon that suddenly became a powerhouse. Granted, Brutal Swing is super effective against Annihilapes, so yeah, that. Not to mention that the Annihilate were kind of beating up on each other, so it kind of got an advantage there, but this is still very impressive nonetheless. Unfortunately, there is a consequence to it evolving. Now that it evolved, it can no longer fit in Liko's hood, and as a result, it is not as present as it used to be. Like when it was a Hatenna, it was present in pretty much almost every episode. But now that it's evolved, yeah, it only shows up here and there now. Which is pretty disappointing. Florgato has, once again taken most of the screen time away. So, that is one bad thing about it evolving. So, maybe this will change in Arc 4. Maybe when we go back to the Bravasagi, maybe we'll have more of a presence when we go there. But yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed since it evolved. Its presence has gone down quite a bit. But hey, since it evolved, it's going to be in the Grusha battle and actually do some damage, right? It's going to show off its new Brutal Swing attack and do some damage to Grusha's Pokemon, right? Right? Oh no, not again. Yeah, so pretty much it got the Kilowattrel treatment here, so yeah, I mean, granted, Liko got quite the beatdown in this battle, so it was going to ultimately lose either way. But yeah, Florgato pretty much stole its screen time, much like Fuecoco did to Kilowattrel. Just not as bad. But honestly, guys, in hindsight, when I look at this, and I look at these two evolutions, I'm sorry, but it honestly feels like they evolved for the plot. And I hate to say that, but like, what was Liko gonna do with this upcoming battle? Just catch a new Pokemon? Obviously, her Hatenna had to evolve in order to be involved here, but like, both it and Kilowattrel went down so easily, so it's like, man, they evolved for this, but at what cost? They got taken down so easily, so it's like, I don't know, man. It just feels super underwhelming, and hopefully these two Pokemon do some like crazy stuff in the next arc, or like have some good battles or something, because yeah, right now these evolutions, yeah, I mean, Hattrem's is granted better since it was beaten up on some Pokemon, but when it comes to the actual gym battles, it just, yeah, it could have done more, but this is what we got, which is unfortunate. Now lastly, we have Tinkatink, which is the newest member of the three, having been caught in episode 39. And in my opinion, this was the best capture episode out of the three, since it showed a ton of potential beating up on an Earthworm. Granted, Quaxley put in most of the work here, but it still beat up on it too. So, it showed some potential here, so I was expecting it to maybe participate in a battle or two here and there. Maybe do some training with Quaxley or something. And outside of a few cute moments and some stuff here and there, yeah, it didn't really do much. To the point where when we go to Dot's battle against Larry, it's noted that this is Tinkatink's first battle. Like, excuse me? What? Dot? Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you training your Pokemon? You're smart. You're coming up with these strategies against Iono and Larry. But this is Tinkatink's first battle? Kind of feels like you're just setting it up for failure at this point. Because, you know, you might want to, you know, train your Pokemon, get it stronger, maybe, get some battling experience in it, but apparently she just didn't. Granted, it actually did a decent job here. It managed to avoid glare from the Dunsparce and also repel its Hyper Drill, which was pretty cool, but then Staraptor comes out and takes it down immediately. So just like with the other two, yeah, it went down very easily. But Dot, please train your Tinkatink. We know that it's going to be evolving very soon, so obviously it's going to be involved in maybe an upcoming battle or something like that, and it ends up evolving as a result. So hopefully when it evolves, it'll at least do something, but Yeah, I'm probably the most lenient on this one since it's the most recent capture, but yeah, this was not a good look. So hopefully Tinkatink does something when it evolves into Tinkatuff or something. Just have it do something, man. Now, if it isn't noticeable by now, yeah, each of these Pokemon share a similar issue, and it's that the starter Pokemon for Liko, Roy, and Dot are constantly taking up the spotlight. And now look guys, I understand. These are essentially the mascots for the Scarlet and Violet games, but the hyper focus on them is starting to get annoying. Like, come on guys, you got other Pokemon here. You got a second Pokemon. Like, train them. Like, showcase them in battle. Don't constantly just use your starters only. Like, an example here. We just recently had Liko go up against Amethio for a brief battle. You know, she could have actually utilized her Hattrem in this battle, but nope. Florigato. And then when Songo and Onyx attack Roy and Dot, what do they use? Fuecoco and Quaxwell. We don't see Tinkatink or Kilowattrel here. Just the starter Pokemon. So they're the ones that are getting the most spotlight here in the battles. And you'd think, hey, they got a second Pokemon, maybe they'd use them in a battle here and there too. But the majority of the time, it's just the starters that are getting utilized here, which is, yeah, starting to become quite the issue. Now, another thing that's slightly bothering me in the current arc, being the Terastallization debut arc, is that only the starters are being Terastallized. Like Kilowattrel, Hattrem, Tinkatink have not been Terastallized at all. Why? Like, is there some kind of restriction that the course limits it to, like, one Pokemon or something? I'm not sure, but this once again adds to the fact that the starters are just getting more love and screen time compared to the secondary Pokemon. Now, since the three have only recently started Terastallizing their Pokemon, Liko, Roy, and Dot, this issue could easily be fixed in the next arc. Like, we could go in the next arc and then Kilowattrel gets Terastallized in an episode or something like that. Or Tinkatink, or soon to be Tinkatuff, ends up getting Terastallized or something. Or even Hattrem in like a situation. And it would actually be really cool if they had a different Terra type, because it's kind of lame that the starters have the same Terra type as their actual typing. So if there's one thing that they could possibly do to fix this issue, is that they could have these Pokemon Terastallized and then give them like a different Terra type to kind of just, you know, make the battles more unique and maybe throw the explorers or somebody else a curveball by doing this. It'd actually be really neat. That'd actually be something that could resolve this issue with, by giving them unique Terra types. But yeah, as of right now, only the starters have Terastallized. Could be, you know, a limitation due to like animation restraints too. So guess I can't really criticize this a whole lot. And again, this is something that could be remedied in the upcoming Rayquaza Horizon arc, but that's to be seen. If they don't Terastallize at all, I might have a bone to pick with the series. But yeah, for now, it's not the biggest deal. It just slightly bothers me. But yeah, hopefully we get some Terastallization, like unique animations for these Pokemon, because I'd like to see them get, like, Terastallized. It'd be cool, you know? But I think my biggest concern with all of this is that there's still a chance that Liko, Roy, and Dot may actually catch a third Pokemon going into maybe the next arc or two. And if that's the case, I worry that their treatment could be even worse than the second Pokemon. Like, honestly, as much as I love them to catch more Pokemon, I really want them to catch at least one more Pokemon. Like, if Kilowattrel, Hattrem, or Tinkatink are going to continue to get sidelined and the starters are just going to take the spotlight, then I'm not sure if I want them to catch more Pokemon. Like, dude, guys, just give your Pokemon more screen time. And if you do catch another Pokemon, make sure that you properly train them. Utilize them in battle or something. Like, seriously, like, I don't want these Pokemon to just go to waste. Like, I want another capture for these characters, but, like, do something with them. And before you capture the said Pokemon, do something with your second Pokemon. Have them have another episode or two in this upcoming arc. Get some more development. Get some nice battles in or something. Just do something before you catch your third Pokemon. If that ends up being the case. That's still to be seen, but yeah. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on it at this point. A part of me really wants Liko, Roy, and Dot to capture a new Pokemon and add it to their arsenal. But on the other hand, like seeing as how Kilowattrel, Hattrem as of late, and then Tinkatink have been treated, yeah, it makes me not want them to get another Pokemon. So yeah, I'm kind of torn on this, so might see what you guys think in the comment section down below, whether you think Liko, Roy, and Dot should capture a third Pokemon or not. Alrighty guys, that's all I got for this video, so oh boy. That was a lot to get off my chest, so yeah, this is currently my biggest issue with Pokemon Horizons at the moment. I feel like the series has some other issues as well, but like, I really want these Pokemon to get some proper screen time and development in the future. And the over-reliance on the starters needs to stop. Like, I like these Pokemon, but man, they've gotten so much spotlight. Let's give these second Pokemon some more love, please and thanks. Anyways, guys, what do you think? What do you think about all this? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, and what is your biggest issue with this series? Like, this is my biggest issue. What is your biggest issue with Pokemon Horizons, or what do you like or dislike about the series? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, so yeah, go ahead and post your thoughts. And if you're brand new to the channel, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And guys, have a good day or night wherever you're at, and I will see you all later. Bye.